was not born a monster. Remember that before you judge me. Monsters are not always born with claws, fangs, and blood upon their mouths. Sometimes they are born from fear, prophecy, humiliation, and the terrible hunger to never be powerless again. I am Kronos, youngest of the Titans, son of Uranus the sky and Gaia the earth. Before Zeus raised thunder, before Olympus shone with golden thrones, before mortals prayed to gods who had not yet taken power, there was my father above us, vast and cruel. Uranus looked upon his children and saw not sons, not daughters, not blood of his blood. He saw threats, he saw ugliness, he saw futures he could not control. So he buried some of us in darkness, forcing his own children deep into Gaia, as though a father could erase what he feared by hiding it beneath the earth. My mother groaned beneath his cruelty. Gaia, the patient earth, became a prison for her own children. Her pain moved through stone, root, and mountain. When she called to us for courage, many trembled. They hated our father, but hatred alone does not make a son brave. I was the one who answered. Do not forget that. Before I devoured my children, I was the child who rose against the devourer. Before I became the tyrant, I was the hand that struck the tyrant down. Gaia placed the sickle in my hands. Not a sword of glory, not a weapon made for songs of heroes. A curved blade close to the earth made for harvest and severing. With it, I waited in the shadow between sky and ground. When Uranus descended upon Gaia, I stepped from hiding. I struck at the source of his dominion and the heavens screamed. Blood fell upon the earth, and from that blood, new powers, new furies, and new horrors would rise. Do not mistake rebellion for purity. A son can overthrow a cruel father and still carry his shadow inside him. Victory does not wash the wound clean. Sometimes victory only hands the wounded man a throne. After Uranus fell, the sky lifted from the earth. The world had space to breathe. I became ruler of the Titans, lord of the age before Olympus. The old fear had been cut down, and for a moment, I believed freedom had arrived. But power is a dangerous medicine. It heals humiliation at first. It tells the wounded soul, you are safe now. No one can bury you again. Then slowly, quietly, it teaches the soul to fear every hand that reaches toward the crown. I took Rhea as my queen. She was my sister, my wife, mother of the children who would inherit the world after me. In another life, perhaps I might have loved them as a father should. In another life, perhaps I might have looked at their faces and seen wonder instead of warning. But prophecy came. It whispered what all rulers fear. One of my children would overthrow me, just as I had overthrown my father. Fate had not ended with Uranus. It had only turned its eyes toward me. I heard the prophecy, and I thought I understood wisdom. I thought survival meant prevention. I thought if I could seize the future before it grew teeth, I could remain king forever. So when my first child was born, I did not cradle her. I did not bless her. I did not look upon her smallness and feel mercy. I opened my mouth and swallowed. Hestia disappeared first into the darkness of her father. I did not know it then, but I had swallowed more than a child. I had swallowed the hearth before it could warm the world, the sacred fire before it could become the center of home. Then came Demeter, and I swallowed the harvest before mankind ever knew hunger could be answered. I swallowed the green field, the ripened grain, the mother's bread, the mercy of the earth made gentle. Then Hera came, and I swallowed the queen before she could sit beside thunder. I swallowed marriage, oath, crown, and the terrible dignity of a woman who would one day refuse to be small. Then Hades came, and I swallowed the unseen kingdom before the dead had a lord to receive them. I swallowed depth, silence, hidden wealth, and the dark order beneath every living footstep. Then Poseidon came, and I swallowed the sea before it could roar with its own name. I swallowed storm, earthquake, horse, wave, and the blue violence that would one day shake the shores of men. One by one, the children of Rhea entered the world only to vanish into me. Do not imagine that I heard nothing. Do not imagine the act was empty. A father always knows when he has crossed the line that separates protection from horror. But fear is a priest that can bless any crime if you kneel before it long enough. I told myself I was preserving order. I told myself I was preventing war. I told myself a kingdom without rebellion was mercy. The truth was simpler and uglier. I was afraid. Rhea watched me consume her children. Do you think a mother forgets? Do you think silence means surrender? Her grief did not roar at first. It became patient. It became hidden. It became a plan. When Zeus was born, she did not bring him to me. She carried him away in secret, hiding him in Crete, where the infant's cries were covered by clashing shields, by loyal hands, by the noise of a future I thought I had swallowed. In his place, Rhea gave me a stone wrapped in cloth. I, who had overthrown the sky, who had ruled the Titans, who had devoured 5 children to defeat prophecy, swallowed a stone like a fool. That is the humiliation of fear. It makes a ruler cruel, but not wise. It makes him suspicious of life, yet blind to deception. A man who distrusts everyone often becomes easiest to trick, because he has already forgotten how love moves. Zeus grew beyond my sight. While I sat upon my throne, believing the future slept inside me, the future was breathing elsewhere. It was being fed. It was being hidden. It was learning the shape of thunder. No prison can hold the future forever. No mouth can swallow tomorrow. You may bury a seed, but burial is not always death. Sometimes the thing you force into darkness grows roots. When Zeus returned, he did not come as a helpless child. He came as the answer to everything I feared. Through cunning, force, and fate, I was made to release what I had consumed. My children came out again. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, not dead, not erased, not defeated. They emerged from the prison of their father, and with them came the truth I had refused to learn. What you swallow does not disappear. What you suppress does not cease to exist. It waits. It changes. It gathers strength in the place where you thought you had buried it. Then came war. Titan against Olympian. Old power against new fire. The heavens shook with a violence older than mortal memory. The sky split with thunder. Gaia trembled beneath the war of her own children. Mountains were torn up like stones in the hands of giants. The Cyclopes gave Zeus his thunderbolts, and the 100-handed ones rose with impossible force, hurling rocks like storms across the world. Every prison of the old age became a weapon against me. Every buried thing returned with fury. This is what tyrants never understand. Every cruelty creates allies for tomorrow. Every prison teaches the imprisoned what freedom is worth. Every child treated as an enemy learns one day to answer as one. I fought because I had no other language left. I had spent so long fearing my children that I no longer knew how to meet them except as enemies. A father who refuses to bless the future will eventually be forced to battle it. The Titans were mighty, but might is not the same as destiny. We had age, strength, and ancient names. But Zeus had the one thing I could not defeat. He had the future moving through him. I fell. The throne I had guarded with blood, terror, and the bodies of my own children was torn from me. Some say I was cast into Tartarus with the defeated Titans. Some say another fate carried me to a distant golden realm. But every version agrees on the wound. I lost what I tried hardest to keep. This is the curse of trying to defeat prophecy by cruelty. Every act you commit to escape fate becomes the road fate uses to find you. I swallowed my children to prevent their rebellion, and by swallowing them I made rebellion righteous. Do you understand now? I did not become my father because fate forced me. I became him because I never healed from being his son. I mistook his fall for my freedom, but I carried his fear into my kingdom. A wounded child with power can become more dangerous than the parent who wounded him. He tells himself he will never be weak again. Then he builds a world where everyone beneath him must feel the weakness he once endured. I feared my children because I knew what a child could do to a father. I knew the hand of a son could rise in darkness. I knew a throne could be taken. I knew the sky itself could be wounded. But I forgot what else a child could be. A child could be renewal. A child could be mercy. A child could be the end of the old violence, the dawn that proves the world was never meant to remain in the fist of one frightened king. I looked at my children and saw only my replacement. I did not see hearth, harvest, marriage, underworld, sea, and thunder. I did not see the order they would bring. I saw only the ending of myself. That is what fear does. It makes every blessing look like an enemy. It makes the future look like theft. It makes love look like weakness, and trust look like surrender. Let every ruler remember me. What you chain will one day learn the shape of chains. What you bury will one day rise with roots. What you silence will one day return with a voice sharpened by the dark. Let every father remember me. Your children are not your enemies because they will outlive you. They are not traitors because they will become what you are not. A house that devours its young becomes a tomb, no matter how high its throne stands. Let every wounded son remember me. Overthrowing the one who hurt you is not the same as becoming free. You must also overthrow the fear he planted inside you, or you will rebuild his prison with your own hands. There are men who spend their lives trying to stop tomorrow. They mock the young, fear change, hoard authority, and call their terror wisdom. But the future does not ask permission. It grows in secret, beyond the reach of frightened kings. I am Kronos. I am the son who overthrew the sky and the father who swallowed his own dawn. I am the tyrant who feared tomorrow so greatly that I made tomorrow my enemy. Hear me before you become what once hurt you. The future cannot be swallowed. The child cannot be buried forever. The throne you guard with fear will become the altar where your fear is judged.